Hello and welcome back to Wario Land 2. On the last episode, we dealt with that time-honored tradition of mazes that are also, in fact, woods. In this episode, we're dealing with that other time-honored tradition of chasing the dirty pirate whose ill-gotten gains are actually yours. But I suppose they're your ill-gotten gains from her from the previous game, but we're the protagonist from our point of view, so we care more about Wario than we do Captain Syrup, although I guess I wish Captain Syrup showed up a bit more in games in general, because she'd make a nice kind of evil lady addition to the cast of Mario characters, but I suppose that's getting on a tangent because we have to stop that train in town. Chapter 4 in town, story 1, stop that train. So, I'm a big fan of Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is kind of nostalgic for me. It reminds me of spending a summer at my grandma's house, doing a lot of swimming and playing this game. Just evokes memories of summer for me. And you know what? I'm also a huge fan of this level because I loved trains as a kid. I was a weird train kid until Pokemon came out. Then I was one of the millions of weird Pokemon kids. But that's neither here nor there. What here is the train that we're on. I'm a big fan of the train level. It's kind of a fun little romp. As is most train, that does not sound right at all. As most trains level, it's kind of a mostly linear affair, with the exception of we can get on the roof. Who would have guessed that you could get on the roof of a train? A crazy concept in video games, movies, media in general. Another just generic idea that this game uses is ducks with boomerangs. I mean, just, geez, what's with this duck with boomerang agenda? I'm tired of seeing it everywhere. Geez. I'm a big fan of this level. Like I said, we can get on the roof, but we don't need to take to the roof just yet. We'll be hitting the roof, get some sun time in. When we're done getting punched in the face, Wario has to get his daily quota of getting punched in the face a bit first, and I want to take care of that danger duck, because that danger duck, his boomerang, could cause trouble for it if we allow it to fly off where we don't want it. If he uses his weapon on us, it could be bad. You're going to have to trust me on this one. I know I say some things that probably don't make sense and you disagree with, but you're going to have to trust me on this one. I'm not making a goofer. I'm telling the truth. I'm being a very good boy, I promise. As you see, we've hit the front of the train, and we can no longer continue, so you know what that means. It's time to take to the skies and get on the frickin' roof, which you can do at any time by proceeding towards the roof, I suppose. This level has kind of a mean hidden treasure, and I'm actually going to grab it right now before I forget, because these little entryways you can fall in, you would think would line up with the train. And they do, for the most part, except for in this one instance. So, like, a lot of these, like, holes, had I fallen into, they would take us to, like, the relevant area that they line up to with the frickin' train. But that area right there doesn't line up with any, like, holes in the train. So it actually leads you to a separate room, which is a little mean. It took me a while to find that one. It makes sense, but it's also a little mean. So, as is the problem with traversing the top of the train, there's less problems, but your momentum's a little stunted since you're pushing against the wind of the top of the train, which is weird, because I think that's a mechanic that really only exists for frickin', like, essentially currents and, like, top of train areas, and we can't make that jump, so we're going to be forced to come back down and immediately just go back up to the top. You also, for whatever frickin' reason, you cannot ground pound up here. I'm guessing it has something to do with however they programmed the wind pressure. Wind pressure. The force of the wind pushing against Wario. I'm guessing it interacts weirdly with how he ground pounds, and it ends up being a bad time for that. And oh, good, we made the shot. Stop that train's a short little level. It's not very long. Short level, as I said. very redundant way of speaking, but hey, we stopped the train. I love that level. And also, we got an ocarina for our troubles. So, I mean, I guess Hylian royal family goods have been appropriated. Nice. Guess we're gonna go up to the rooftop, but you don't start at the top. You start at the bottom. You gotta work your way up. That's Wario's bootstrap kind of Bella. You gotta pull yourself up by the bootstraps, etc., etc. You know, whatever. You also give me your money. Oh, yeah, I forgot about those. Yes, up on the rooftop introduces a new mechanic. Falling platforms. You can tell the difference between a falling platform and a normal one. They're kind of colored differently. Falling platforms also kind of suck because they have a little bit of, like, what's the best way to describe it? You can bump your head on them if you, like, approach them from the wrong angle. and sometimes that's bad. Also, these, like, little, like, God, what animals are these? They're kind of like, they're not wolves. I honestly can't even think what kind of animals these line up to, which I feel bad, because I feel like I should be able to recognize that animal just by looking at it, but I don't. I'm a bad animal recognizer. Those guys who throw the bottles at you, though, you can kill them by tackling them like you can most enemies, but they're gonna be a little problematic because sometimes they can just get you got, especially since they like to put them in areas with frickin' the falling platforms. In Town is very much a chapter I enjoy, though, because In Town just is filled with so many just fun level concepts for me. Like, the idea for this level is just kind of verticality, where... verticality? Verticalness. It's a super vertical level. There's levels like this in, like, every video game, but I'm always just a fan of, like, oh boy, here's the vertical level. I don't know why, it's just, it always gets me excited, especially when it's, like, a side-scroller thing, and then all of a sudden we're doing vertical things, although it can be bad, because if you do a whole lot of falling like that, you can end up in some bad spots, and that's a falling platform. Sometimes it's a bit hard to distinguish the two, because there's not much difference between a falling platform and a normal platform. Like, their shading's a bit darker, their borders are a bit more pronounced, but other than that, there's not much to distinguish them, so you kind of have to be really observant. But I don't know. In Town's just filled with just, like, fun level ideas for me, because it's like, oh, here's the train level where you're on a train. It's like, here's the building level where you're on a big building. It's time for fun, and I heard money up there. And I'm suppose we can't get to a oh, I bet we can jump off that guy. Let's see if we can, there was a falling platform there that we might have needed to, help us get up there to him. Yeah. Oh, no, I got it for a second. You know what, screw it. It's not worth our time. There's definitely money. Oh, well. There's definitely money up there, and now I don't even have a choice of if it's worth our time or not, because I've done the murder of Badger. Those things, okay, hear me out. For some reason, in my childhood mind, those things I refer to those as badgers. They do not look like badgers. That's why I was like, what do these things remind me of? I always call them badgers in my head. They're not badgers. They look nothing like badgers. I don't know why. Maybe they could be they're not badgers. I don't know why. Just don't pursue that train of thought. It's not going to go anywhere real fast. And is this the right way to go? This might actually be the right way to... Oop, I looked away from the screen and then just ran straight into an enemy. Hopefully we don't need any frickin' enemies to break any blocks. Well, I guess there's still an enemy down there, so I started panicking, like, oh man, I might have hecked the heck up, but no hecking the heck up yet. Not exactly. This arrangement's a little interesting because they have two enemies coming at you from either side, and they expect you to jump up that little shaft to get away from them. But I hecked it up big time and hecked it up by just bumping into the enemy. So you can go through that room to get up there, but you can also just jump off that enemy head. A little speedrunning tactic from your pal Cardboard Lawyer, the pro speedrunner, as you can once again tell by the times that my episode length guys are saying. Oh, and I guess we found a little bit of money for my error. They sticking some money just off screen, which is a little mean, but you know, whatever. Little segments with these badger guys who throw the bottles at you. Sometimes it's better to do a crouch jump, because they place them in such places where you can bounce off their head sometimes, and that's no good. Also, I really love this building. As a kid, it just made me a little giddy, and even now, it's fun. We climbed up the building, and when you get to the top, it spells out Nintendo. It's nice. It's interesting. Also, this has one of my favorite treasure doors in the entire game. Which I know, like, a treasure door, how can you have a favorite treasure door? But they hide a door in a bunch of, like, oh, here's a bunch of frickin', you know, just dark spots. Let's hide a door in here. I like it. Oh, that's not the treasure door. My bad. I guess the treasure door's up here. This is just coins. I assumed it was the treasure. I guess the treasure door is right here instead. Hiding doors against, like, the same color backdrop as the door is generally something I don't like, but I really like that Nintendo one because it's real obvious that there's a door there. So I've just always been a big fan of that little door right there. It's very, very nice. I'm a big fan of that door just in general. Also, you get to the top and it's a Nintendo building. That's fun. Also, speaking of fun, we got crazy new technology, a CD. Wow. Oh boy, down in the cellar is a doozy of a level. Down in the cellar is like just a giant like maze. This game loves its mazes, but this is probably like the first real proper maze of the game, despite there being like a level called Maze Woods. Like there's like the Thorny Maze, I assume. Suppose the level is called. And oh my god, 2 shiny coins. That has not happened since like the first level. And that like freaking like never happens. I'm very, very shocked. This is going good. I'm feeling real good about what's happening here. Let's continue onwards without doing a bad. Yeah, but down in the cellar is probably the first proper maze. Like, hoo boy, you could see the map for this place. In fact, I might flash it on screen, maybe more near the end of the level. No need to spoil the level, and I just barely avoided that skullcopter. It has a lot of just like nooks and crannies of we can just take off to. And oh, I pissed off the owl by ground pounding. That's funny. I normally bump into the owls to wake them up. I sometimes forget that you can freaking also ground pound and wake them up. And I don't want to kill these guys just in case I need the chef for these. Oh my god! Holy fuck! How did that? Like, okay, like I have never ever like seen 4 shiny coins in a single level, let alone so back to back and 2 in a row, 2 times in a row. Like, holy crap! I really want to know what the chances of shiny coins are, because I've never been able to find that information anywhere. But holy crap, that's amazing. That's so wonderful. I'm so into this right now. This is the best. This is so good. I love this level. This level's okay. But yes, these more solid looking but still cracked blocks, you cannot break them through normal means. No ground pound, no punching. The only way to break them is with your girth from Fat Wario. We've seen these in the SST Cup, but I didn't talk too much about them. I think I might have quickly mentioned that you can only break them with Fat Wario. I just wanted to speak a bit more in depth. Fat Wario doesn't have a tackle, so there's gonna be none of that. Also, the elevators in this level. If you touch an elevator that goes up, it'll just fly up. Otherwise, actually, this is progress. I don't want to go this way. If elevator goes down, you need to be Fat Wario to weigh the Wario. You need to be Fat Wario to weigh Wario down further. You need to be Fat Wario to make the down elevators go up. And also, you can't to make the down elevator go down. You got to be a fat boy. And to make the up elevator go up, you gotta be a not fat boy. And oh man, are we not able to get up there because that jump the jump we were able to make was not high enough. And sure enough, it wasn't, because here is a new transformation, Spring Wario. So Spring Wario, like Puffy Wario, is entirely made for vertical shafts. Once you start, you just gotta kind of wait to time out, hit water, get injured to detransform. It's kind of interesting. If you press A to jump whenever you're on the ground, you'll do a higher jump, but you're always jumping against your will regardless of what you do. So you're always going to be jumping a little bit, whether you like it or not. And I'm so glad this punchy guy is here, because this will take us back to this area where these enemy blocks were, and I was thinking I was going to have to come back here with the chef to get an enemy. And I'm a big fan of the chef enemies. I love that they throw like the little cake. They look nice. I love the chef enemies. They're my friends. Give me cake, please. But God, I'm still flabbergasted by 4 freaking shiny coins. And I'm desperately hoping nothing bad happens to this recording, and it has to be scrapped, because oh my God, that's amazing luck. And we have these ants. You know, I was actually thinking, these ants are kind of weird enemies, and I was trying to think of where else they show up other than in that one area of Maze Woods. But here we go, ants. And as you can see, ants are a pain in the ass because they turn their head into a hurt box. And as you can see, the electricity hadn't appeared yet. We couldn't hear the noise, but it had already started its hurt box-ness, and bad times were had. And can I please destroy more than one block at a time, which I suppose would be impossible, seeing as there was no more than one block at the end of that. And we create a nice little shortcut, and we can move on. I'm a big fan of like the little shortcuts you can create by let's just go ahead and get tunky, get big, chunky, and tubby. Tunky. Oh, I thought we would need it. I guess it was just there because they stick some chefs in the wall, so they're always there, so they can throw some cake at you if you need to. And I need to walk. Oh, God, I was just waiting for it to time out, but Fat Wario never times out. Fat Wario will only retransform after he's burned off some calories. It's kind of funny. I'm actually a big fan of that the transformation. I mean, I guess I said that I thought it was one of the poster boy transformations of the game. So I mean, I guess that goes without further saying, I suppose, to be the best way to say that. And there were some breakable blocks down there, and I think that's just a shortcut to the beginning of the level. So there's not much point in coming back here, but I kind of like doing this. It'd be nice if you didn't know what doors led to what, so you could kind of have an idea of like, oh, or well, not have an idea, but you get a chance at backtracking without it being too rough, which is nice. I really like game design where it kind of loops back and forth on each other, which is why I'm a big fan of the Dark Souls series. I like the Dark Souls. Even though Dark Souls sometimes has some problems with it, where there's just, oh, well, rather than giving you a shortcut, we're just going to give you another bonfire. But Bloodborne's very good about that, because that's what we're doing here. This is called Let's Play Wario Land 2, and also talk at length about Dark Souls. Even though that's the first time I've talked about Dark Souls, but I mean, it's not going to be happening anymore in the future. Is this the treasure door? I have a feeling this is the treasure door. Well, my instincts certainly weren't wrong. It was the treasure door. And I just realized something with the treasure door that I've literally never realized before. So they only use 8 of the game's enemies for that. Why don't they, like, change up the enemies that you do, like, kind of randomize them so you can see different enemies from time to time on the thing? And I suppose since I killed the punch, we can't break those blocks. Oh, I suppose we could take this guy up there and break them. But I mean, I've gotten shiny coins out the ass, so you know what? I'm actually gonna do it. I was gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I've been blessed with so many shiny coins. But no, I'm gonna frickin' farm out as many as I can. And you noticed that coin was floating up there without there, like, being a platform for it to stand on. It's kind of... Actually, I'm gonna see where this leads to before I take that elevator down. There are platforms in this game that coins and enemies can walk on that Wario will pass straight through. They're kind of a weird game mechanic that's never really talked too much, or you're never really, like, explicitly told about them. They just kind of happen from time to time, and I guess you just eventually figure out, like, oh, I guess this exists. And are we supposed to go this way, or are we supposed to take this door back here? I don't actually know. So let's check out what's in this door. Oh yeah, this is certainly a little bonus area. Let's light ourselves on fire, because there's fire guys here. I mean, I suppose I probably shouldn't have had my... Okay, good. My first instinct was, I should light myself on fire, instead of, I should explore for... dang it. Instead of, I should explore further and then light myself on fire. And the reason I stayed on this second to bottom platform was that the frickin' there was a shaft that we could have fallen through, and I didn't want to fall through it because there's not enough clearance for Wario to make the jump. So really, as soon as he starts flashing, we need to jump up and, yeah, do that. That's how that should have gone, but unfortunately I screwed up, and I reacted too slowly to Wario being engulfed in flames. So, whoops. Sorry, Wario. My B. I will try to pay more attention when you are on fire in the near future. Or I'll just let you burn to cinders. I mean, you'll be fine either way. You're a rough and tumble dude. You're stronger than all of us. I mean, you also burn calories at an amazing rate. Wario has, like, a baseline girthiness that he sticks to. If he gets any larger or any thinner, he just reverts to his weight. It's a miracle of nature. And also, this is really weird, because we're, like, in the cellar, and now all of a sudden we're, like, freaking in, like, the sewer? I guess maybe this is supposed to represent a sewer. I don't know. And this freaking swordfish is in our way. I don't know if these are supposed to be swordfishes, but I've always called them swordfishes, even though they very clearly have more of, like, saw noses, almost. I guess it could be just a fricked up, like, sword with, like, a little jiggy-jaggy on it, but, okay, yeah, I was like, did we get the treasure? Because I'm like, I know we're approaching the end, so I was like, for a second I was panicking if we got the treasure. Where does this take us? I think that probably loops us back, because I think we've seen everything the level has to offer us. So, oh my god! That freaking cake snipe! Because we were hit with that cake, we cannot go through the entrance. The thing about entrances, you cannot pass through them when you are transformed. So that mean placement of that last baker chef. I suppose chef or baker would be a better name than chef. He stopped us from ending the level just a little bit sooner, and holy crap, we had so many coins. And also, we have the worst looking yo-yo in existence, our treasure. Oh boy, time for another new level theme, Escape from the Factory. I really love In Town. There's a lot of variation in the levels, and a lot of really fun, memorable ones too. And especially Escape from the Factory, because now we're in a factory setting. Wario's home turf. Wario, big fan of industrialism, big business, the worshipper of Ford. Wario's, who? He's one of those guys. No, Wario just likes money. He doesn't care where it comes from. He's a pure boy. He's the purest, greediest boy, and we'll respect his wishes. So this area back here is not really worth exploring too much. You come back here, you get cash, and it introduces you to the conveyor belt changing mechanic. Let you know whenever you hit that, conveyor belts change. Which makes me think that the water area in the first chapter is more to introduce the conveyor belt than anything, because the changing block. Also, this level's very rude and has the end of the level right there, but we can't get to it because we can't change the conveyor belt, which also makes this a very short level if you don't care about treasure, because once you change the conveyor belt, you can just frickin' come back and end the level. It's not a long level at all if you do not care about coins and the heckin' gosh darn treasure. Literally the word I've been using multiple times over and over. I want to kill this guy, because this guy is going to be very problematic for us if we just left him be. And is this the treasure room? It is not the treasure room. Oh, I know where we are now. I thought this was actually in a different area. So these gears function just like conveyor belts. You can walk against conveyor belts. The conveyor belts will push you back if you don't move, but if you walk, you will eventually outspeed them. But if you have to crouch, you will never make any progress on a conveyor belt. You can make a small amount of progress with a little duck slide like that, but unfortunately, you never seem to be able to make enough. The game designers, they've accounted for it. They seem to be aware of how their game functions, and it's my god, game designers that know what they're doing. Who would have guessed? This area is a little bit weird because it has some breakable things you might have not guessed were breakable. Also, this door leads to a secret exit. Yes, we have not seen a secret exit in a little while, since Maze Woods did not have any. But in town actually has two. It has this one and one we'll be seeing later. So I will not be exploring back there because not much reason to, since frickin' we're not doing the secret exits till later. So why bother? But yes, like I said, this level is very short if you just want to end it without getting the treasure, because you can come in here, hit this, that changes the conveyor belts, and you can run back out to that first room, and you know what, screw it. Actually, yeah. You can just change the conveyor belts and leave. I was like, that money will be too hard to get, but then I was like, wait, are those breakable? Because the second that you realize that those are breakable, that just becomes trivial to collect. And now that we've changed the conveyor belts, we can go back in that other area that we were. But I want to do a little bit more exploring, because we have treasure to garnish. And when you can garnish your plate with money, why not? And I almost bumped myself off the thing. And is this breakable? No, it isn't. But there seems to be money on the other side that we could probably get to. I'll probably forget about it, because it's not the end of the world if we don't get it. And I want to kill this badger. Don't know why I have it in my head that those are badgers, because those certainly are not badgers. Thank you for the shiny coin. That is the... Is that the 5th shiny coin we've gotten? Did we get any shiny coins before the legendary double-double? I don't know, but heckin' cheese crackers, we're doing really well on cash. And is there not a area down here? I thought there was more cash down here. Maybe oh no, there's certainly more cash down there. Perhaps we can approach it from the other direction. The changing conveyor belts is also a real nice little game mechanic, because it's like, oh, you change the conveyor belt and it makes it harder to escape from the area you previously came into. So it kind of increases the difficulty as you go along. And I'm just gonna crouch down here and get the money. And since this is pushing against us, we can't make any progress. But we crouch jump up here, and no problemo, Bob. So I complained about the chef enemy being one of the harder enemies for me to discern on the frickin' memory match game, but I seem to keep getting the chef over and over again. It's kind of weird. And you know what? I'm gonna have to come out and apologize. I'm gonna have to come out and reveal something. I'm not a big fan of the gear conveyor belt things, because they function just like conveyor belts. They're just contextualized a different way, which I appreciate. It's nice having a some variation to it, that we go, oh, here's something different. It isn't just I'm platforming on the same gear over and over again, or the same conveyor belt. But I'm not a big fan of it, because it you can't tell which way the you can tell which way the gear's going. You just have to watch the way it's going. But it's much easier for me to discern which way these conveyor belts are going, because they have big frickin' arrows on them. while the gears do not. So the gears are just a little bit harder to discern. Now, if I were to traverse that hallway of spiky slime blob boys, we could go back and get that money we saw at the beginning of the level. But I'm not going back. It's not worth my time. I say as I go out of my way to traverse the conveyor belt with the frickin' skullcopter on it. But you know, that's way out of our way. Those frickin' slime enemies gave me trouble for a long time because I didn't realize you could murder them until very, very recently, like until one of my more recent playthroughs. So I generally just tanked all the damage going through that hallway, and I thought it was real dumb. Also, we get a little pipe, so Wario can sit back and have a little smoke to relax, I guess. Smoke some garlic. So if In Town hasn't sold you yet, Story 5, anyone for B-ball, and that is not just a name. This is going to be important to the level. Basketball will be an important aspect to this level, I promise you. So I'm very hesitant to say that In Town is my favorite chapter, but it's definitely up there. Hopefully by the end of the LP, I'll have a bit of a... well, heckin' darn, I missed that jump. I'll have a better grasp on my opinions to tell you, but... oh boy, chapter 4 is such a treat. I love In Town so much. You get so many fun little levels, and then you get to the boss, and it's time to play some basketball. I'm actually extraordinarily bad at basketball. I did not understand the rules at all as a child, and horribly embarrassed myself on a tryouts for like little kid basketball team. Let's go have some fun. Like, you will not believe how bad it was. In fact, I think I told the story in other LPs, so I'm not going to embarrass myself further. Instead, I'm going to talk about this bird jump that used to give me a lot of trouble when I was a kid, and then also managed to give me some trouble now. So I've been embarrassed once more. These jumps aren't too bad to make. They were a little rough on like the Game Boy Color's like D-pad for me, because you need to be holding up the entire time to get enough air off of them. Also, you need to time your jumps nicely. And I don't want to kill this guy, just in case there's some enemy blocks to be had. And what do you know, there's some enemy blocks to be had. Generally, if you're seeing a lot of enemies, there's going to be enemy blocks in the area. This area also, in particular, this level has some pretty mean enemy blocks, so I'm going to probably be a bit more careful inside of buildings. Oh, being inside of a building actually also generally a pretty good tell that there's going to be some, like, hidden wall. Oh my god, we have just been raking in shiny coin after shiny coin, like, freaking... like, episode 1, we got 2 in a row, and then, like, we didn't see them for a while, and just, they've been lining our pockets with them since, like, holy crap, we're on Shiny Coin Town train to Shiny Coin Town. Sentences, very nice indeed. And I'm guessing, yeah, this is the area you'd be thrown out to if you screwed up on the boss. But we are not going to screw up on the boss. We're going to be super cool and play the best that anyone has ever played this video game. And more enemy blocks. Like I said, they really love enemy blocks in this little area. And this should also loop us back around to the treasure room. And what do you know? It's the treasure room. It's not too terribly well hidden, but there is actually a secret exit in this level, which means they had something better to hide than the treasure room. Something they had to get a bit more sneaky with. We just want to avoid these birds, because those birds can put a serious damper on your day if you get birded too hard. And there's the enemy back there, and we need that enemy, so we might as well just go back. So, earlier I said, oh, there's some mean enemy blocks, and by that I mean there's some, like, a fake wall that has enemy blocks. But the tell is actually not too bad, because, like, right here, there's enemy blocks, so you know to bring an enemy over here at the very least. And then you can kind of see that there's area beyond this wall, so it might get you kind of curious and want to check it out. It's tells like these that I like for hidden walls in games. It's like, if you're going to do one, you better put a good tell to let people know that there's something there. And speaking of hidden things, here's the hidden exit. The first one we've actually encountered. I've been pointing out how to get to them, but we haven't seen any yet. We'll see them later. That's neither here nor there, because it's time for some b-ball. So here's Dunk the Rabbit with his own unique boss theme, because this isn't just a boss, it's a game of b-ball. So you jump on him, he turns into a ball. If he jumps on you, you turn him into a ball. First to get 3 hoops wins. It's that good old game 3 hoop. Everybody's favorite 3 hoop. So you can either jump up and try and go for the dunk, or you can just throw from the ground like I am. I might go for some dunks later, but I normally have pretty bad luck with the dunks. He also has an attack where he throws a basketball. If it hits you, it just stuns you. It won't actually turn you into a ball. So if he jumps on you, turns into a ball, you want to get hit by his basketball because it'll revert you into normal. And come back here, I want to dunk you. We're going to go for the sweet final dunk on you. And there we go. We've dunked on Dunk the Rabbit by dunking Dunk the Rabbit, who was therefore dunked Dunk the Rabbit. We also got a scooter, so maybe that's why he played 3-hoop with us, because normally it's one strike you're out with bosses. But he had to dunk on us 3 times, just like how we had to dunk on him 3 times. So perhaps he saw our scooter and was like, hey, I'll play you some b-ball for the scooter. And Wario thought it was fair, you know. He's had it rough with some of these bosses, like the bees stinging him when he's clearly very, very allergic. Well, I guess it's a 4. I was going to say it's either a 1 or a 4, but the little arm of the 4 kind of gave it away, so we were able to find that out pretty quickly. Normally, it takes a little while to figure out what it is. I don't know if there's any that you could tell what it is 100% with just 1. And I'm not going to look at it any longer to tell, because we have 2/5 of our map completed, which, I mean, that's like 2/5, that's like 40% almost, maybe. I don't know. I'm stupid is what I'm saying. The joke was that I'm dumb. But that's, once again, neither here nor there, because we chased those rubble-rousers of the Black Sugar Gang out of town. Unfortunately, they've retreated to Syrup Castle. Not Syrup's Castle, Syrup Castle. They've yet to correct the ownership of the castle. But yes, we've chased them all the way back to their hideout, which actually looks just like their hideout from Wario Land 1. With the color scheme, I played Virtual Boy Wario Land, and so my god, it all wraps up together, and I guess she has to rally the troops. I mean, Wario's at her gates. She needs to defend herself. She needs to flood her castle. Make sure that nobody can penetrate. Make sure her duck-based security is prepared. So I guess next time I'll see you for the final chapter, Syrup Castle. Not Syrup's Castle.